Hi, it's Joyce, Energy Lady. I know I've already shared with you that my book I have my proof copy of my book, Stuck, A Love Story Unraveling Your Resistance to Heal. But it will be available on Amazon on November 24th. So I want to share with you a concept that I actually taught one of my clients the other day that I talk about in the book. And that is, do you identify with illnesses that somebody has diagnosed you with? And the reason I share that is because so many times when a doctor, a friend, a therapist, a coach, whoever it might be, as soon as they have given you a diagnosis, what is the first thing you do? The first thing you do is you go home, you do all the research on it, you look at all the symptoms, and then what? You identify with all those symptoms. I remember when I was in graduate school and I was in abnormal psychology, and the professor said, okay, guys, here's the deal. We're going to be studying this for a whole semester, and every one of you are going to identify with some of the symptoms of some of these psychological disorders. And he said, just know you don't have them. At least most of you don't. He said, I don't know. But he said, you have to say, back off, read it, and say, this is what this disorder is, but this is not me, just because I have some of those symptoms. So when someone has diagnosed you with something or told you, oh, you have ADHD, what is the first thing you've done? You've gone, you've researched it, you've looked at it, you thought, yeah, that sounds exactly like me. I have a hard time focusing. I have, a hard time staying on task, whatever it might be. So that becomes a crutch. It becomes your fallback. And you will say, oh, well, I have ADHD. So it's kind of an excuse to not move forward. So when I wrote the book about Stuck and Unraveling Your Resistance to Heal, we have a resistance to healing if we have bought into an illness. If we have bought into this is what you have, and so many people will say, my ADHD, or my diabetes, or my cancer, or owning it by claiming it mine, you don't want to do that. You can call it the cancer, the ADHD, whatever it might be, okay? But you need to own it like it's yours. Because as soon as you do that, because your body adopts what you tell it, okay? What your mind tells your body, the body adopts to that. So if you're telling yourself, oh yeah, I have this illness. Oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that. This is my illness. Then it's going to stop you. You will have a resistance to doing any kind of healing because you've been told you have this, whatever that might be. So a powerful way to look at it is, don't identify yourself as the person that somebody has diagnosed you with, as the illness that somebody has diagnosed you with. Lyme disease, fibromyalgia, any of the autoimmune diseases. Any of those, you're going to want to look at that and say, okay, I have symptoms of this. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to live into those symptoms, okay? It doesn't mean you have to be that. So watch yourself. Use this as a little interesting experiment, okay? And I think what I loved about the client that I told her, she said somebody told her she has ADHD, so she immediately started identifying about it. She loved the fact that I told her, what if you're not? What if you just have a hard time staying on task, So then she saw somebody and they said, hey, something about your ADHD. And she goes, no, I don't identify with that. And that was empowering for her. Okay. So you want to empower yourself by not owning whatever the illnesses are that somebody has diagnosed you with. So if you've got questions about this, please reach out, go on my website, yourhealingevolution.com, book a free consultation. Let's talk. Because sometimes, and I'm sure my book may rattle people, because sometimes people are like, no, absolutely, I have this. Sometimes they want it. And that's the hard part. So reach out to me. Let's talk. And I hope you have a really great day.